Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Black Friday. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to all my American people out there who are watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am thankful for you. I'm thankful for everybody here who helped us hit 100,000 followers. I am thankful to everybody here who keeps coming back, trusting me to help you with your relationships. I am thankful to everybody who's given a warm welcome to my certified attachment coaches, Alyssa and Jeremy. And quite frankly, I'm thankful that any of you care about attachment. When I started doing this work years back, it was tough getting anybody on the internet to talk about attachment. No one had heard about it. No one believed in it. No one really cared. And now, after years and years and years of doing this, not only does everybody finally care, but now there are a ton of people out there everywhere who suddenly want to talk about it. And they've all become attachment experts overnight, I've noticed. And it's being picked up by major news companies everywhere. And everyone suddenly wants to know, what is my attachment style? Here on this channel, you know we've been talking about this for years and years, guys. It is not a surprise what your attachment style is or that your attachment style can change. Chat, I'm glad you guys are here. Hey, big guy, good to see you. Good to see you too, Archeon. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. Chat, shout out to you guys for always being here. You're down here on my laptop. Your camera's there. I'm just used to always looking right into the camera. But chat, I'm so glad you're here. Kelly Kiwi, ready to talk and share my story with you. I want to show you succeed. I love that. I'm so excited for that. That is amazing. And thank you for being you. I really care about you and I appreciate you, all of you guys. I honestly do. Reading your comments every single day. I'm in there reading the comments, replying back to you guys, hopefully replying back to you guys. If I've missed somebody, I apologize, but I'm trying. There's a lot of you, and I'm so grateful that all of you are in there. I do have coffee today to help me get through. You know, I've got 5 kids, and occasionally, for parenting purposes, coffee is useful. It is called a performance-enhancing drug, is what it is in parenthood. So thank you, Kiwi. Thank you, Callie. Kiwi, I appreciate you. That is so kind. Number one fan. Well, thank you very much. For everybody out there, because it's Black Friday, I'm just going to get this out of the way. But no, it's a useful resource for you guys. Black Friday. I am posting right now. I'm pinning the message at the top for anybody who needs this. Okay, no pressure here, but for anybody out there who needs the attachment bootcamp video course, right now it is on super sale. I believe it's 40% off. For anybody who needs how to love an avoidant man, also 40% off. For any of you who've been waiting all year for Black Friday and maybe your finances have been tight, 60% off the bundle for both courses together. You save $600. Click that link right now. I'm also launching the attachment repair program. If you've been waiting to fix your attachment issues and you're afraid it's going to take years and years and years, it will not. The 6-month program for full comprehensive overhaul of fixing your attachment issues and filling all of those communication and skill gaps that you didn't even know were there because of the attachment issues, and building all those wonderful pieces of relationship you never knew were possible. All of that together across 6 months. You will save $4,000 off that program. That is 3 sessions a week with me in the group, plus bi-weekly sessions with my attachment certified coaches. Please make sure, if this is the right time for you, please click that link, go to adamlainsmith.com, click on the Black Friday tab, and get your offer right now. I do not want you to miss this. I do not want you to pick those things up if you are not ready to start that work, if you're still skeptical or nervous. I get it. A lot of avoidant people circle on this channel on me for at least 6 months before they'll speak to me. Totally understood. Those resources are there for whoever needs them for this whole Black Friday weekend. They're all available. So please pick it up when you need it. Chat. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Thank you. Can't stay off to going for a concert. Christy, glad you popped by. Thank you so much for being here. Adam, I'm a fan of your content. Mariana, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Archeon, before we begin off topic, is it a bad idea to date? No. Oh, date somebody who had an affair with a married person. How do they talk about the affair? How do they talk about it? Is it, this is something I did. I've realized since then how foolish that was. I don't like it. So here has been my journey of change and improvement. Here's my values and who I am today, and it transformed me. And if you're not comfortable with that, I understand, but this has been my journey. If that's their conversation, amazing. We all make mistakes at times, you guys. We all are young and foolish. But if it's like, well, you know, he was just really weird and I really needed it and his wife was, no, absolutely not. So Archeon, just like any gap on a resume, talk about it and see how they address it. Mariana, question, can you explain compartmentalization and avoidant people? Yeah, sometimes we call it dissociation. So it's, I'm going to take these feelings, put them in a box, put them over here, and not deal with them. Instead, I'm going to focus on this piece. They are very good at this. and their brain is very mechanical because the oxytocin levels are incredibly low. So their brain and their thinking is very harsh and mechanical, based on survival mode and based on just minimizing risk over and over and over. That's what they think about. So they will compartmentalize very hard, and they don't get the oxytocin bonding, which means sentimentality is almost zero for most of them. That's a big component there. Callie, I missed your podcast applications. I was mid challenge with Avoidant Man. I've now walked away again. Totally hear you. Totally hear you. No problem. Let's talk. Let's talk, Callie. I want to make sure you get what you need, and I want to make sure that I take care of you. Okay, whether you missed something or not, I hear you. But let's talk. Let's talk, and you know how to do that. We're going to talk. Axiom, that's me. I hear you. I hear you. Today, the topic today, guys, and it's something that we've been addressing on this channel and dancing around, and not even dancing around. Yes, I'm very clear on avoidant people. I love them to death. Most of my close friends typically are avoidant people. Not all, but some. And yes, I absolutely do believe that avoidant people need to fix their avoidant tendencies in order to be healthy and sustainable in relationships. So abundantly, yes. Now, what does that actually look like, though? Okay, because a lot of times women come to these channels and they are very hurt and very angry and very bitter. Not all of them, and thankfully not most of you here on this channel. But then they see me talking about avoidant people, and I'm like, ethically, avoidant people can be warm and kind and sweet, but you really have to understand them and speak their language. And when you do, they pay you back in dividends, and they will open up to you and be kind to you and give you respect in return. They're like, that hasn't been my experience. I just spent 5 years trying to be accommodating and kind, and I went to every seminar and read every book. I tried to have every conversation. They yelled at me. They were mean. They belittled me. Then they told me they would leave me if I didn't have threesomes with them, so I did, and now I hate myself for it. And I did all these things for them. I have his name tattooed on my butt. And thanks a lot, Adam, because now you're telling me that I just need to accommodate him more. Why don't you tell him to go to therapy? And I hear that a lot. And I know it comes from a place of hurt. And here's my answer. Yes, avoidantly attached people do need to resolve the underlying trauma behavior from childhood. Remember that attachment issues are a trauma response to human relationships drawn from infancy and toddlerhood, early childhood. Okay. They do need to resolve that. They do have a responsibility to be honest, transparent, and collaborative with you. They do have a responsibility to move into the relationship, stick with you, and talk with you through problems. They do also have a responsibility at times to help reasonably co-regulate with you and to solve issues and to actually try to fix problems instead of ducking out, right? Yes, they have that responsibility. Yes, avoidant people must actually co-regulate. You must learn relationship skills, and you must make the choice to invest with that person. Absolutely, yes. Okay, problem solved, live stream over. No, this is where it begins, right? Now the conversation becomes, how does an avoidant person do that? How can they do it without feeling trapped, overwhelmed, and smothered, especially if the anxious person, if the avoidant person feels the anxious person isn't doing their responsibilities? Because remember, the anxious person has a responsibility to come in as regulated as possible, to be more solution focused in their approach instead of blame focused or hurt focused, to be measurable and use measurable language so that the avoidant person, instead of saying, you need to make me feel loved, what the hell does that feel like? I have no idea what that means. Do you want me to buy you a cake? Like, what do you need? I don't get it. I need to feel safe. I have never felt safe in my entire life ever, so I don't know how to help you do that, right? The anxious person has responsibilities. The avoidant person has responsibilities. Both can be true at the same time. In fact, both are true. Okay. You guys know, most of you who've been here for a long time. And thank you for all of you in chat who are. I see some of your names that have been here for a very long time. all of you know that I spent the first 2 years talking about the responsibilities of avoidant people and helping anxious people to recover from some of the pain and understand what's happening. I spent the first 2 years going in depth about the dangers of love bombing, about the irresponsibility of people who don't take relationships seriously. 2 years. You can go back and check out the first few hundred videos on this channel for proof of that. Okay. Then, about a year ago, I made a decision and I said, look, everybody out there is beating avoidant people with a stick and screaming at them and saying, do better, do better, do better. Go to therapy for at least 50 years before you date, right? And avoidant people are like, screw you. I don't care about your feelings. What does Andre say? F your feelings. Um, that's also not helpful. So about a year ago, I made a decision that I would start putting out content that showed the positive, healthy side of ethically avoidantly attached people. That I would differentiate, in fact, and update the field of attachment theory, and I have, to separate ethical and avoidant manipulative people from each other, and to classify one as do not touch, and the other as this is workable, and here's the circumstances under which you can do that. In those videos, I take pains and say, make sure you're connecting to an ethically avoidant person who is actually wanting to work with you, or at least someone who is not trending hard toward the massive manipulative style, or especially off the spectrum over into a personality disorder territory. I have tons of videos on that, you guys, back on the channel, check. In here, the ethically avoidant people, how do they actually fix their problems? Well, it turns out that for an ethically avoidant person to really fix their problems, number one, they need to circle around an attachment specialist for about 6 months minimum. So hello, all my avoidant people out there who are circling around me right now. I will not grab you. I promise you are totally fine. I will not call you out by name, and I am not hunting you down with hunter-killer robots right now at this moment. Nobody is going to grab you, bag you, and tag you. I promise you can circle for as long as you need to. I will be here. Okay? Guaranteed. That said, your relationships likely will not improve until you learn how and when to collaborate with another human being about decisions. Most ethically avoidant people, it doesn't even enter your brain that you can stop and take a problem to another person, say, now, here's a problem I'm circling on in my brain, I've been thinking about. Before I make a decision, I'd like to get your feedback. And let's just talk it through a little bit so we both have all the data on board before we make a decision. For most avoidant people, this does not even enter their consciousness because they are so used to people jumping in, screeching and wailing and making demands that they overwhelm the decision process and force you and strong arm you into the decision they want. Then it becomes a vicious battle and it all falls apart and it ruins everything. That's what a lot of avoidant people grew up with. So that's what they think will happen now. So their brain automatically says, nope, and just turns that off before it even becomes a thought. So it doesn't even occur to them that they can go to a partner and say, hey, we're at about 5 months. I've heard of this thing called novelty dopamine that falls off a cliff. And I've heard of this thing called oxytocin that I'm probably not getting. And I'm realizing now that I'm not, because I'm not feeling the same. Now, I don't, my tendency in the past has been to say that I'm falling out of love with you, but I recognize that means my chemicals are off and I'm not bonding. I want to. I like you. I think that you're a good person. I don't know how to bond with you, and I'm feeling a little nervous because I'm concerned this means that I will never have good feelings again, and I'm never going to be fulfilled. So I'd like to explore some ways, not threesomes and lingerie necessarily for the dopamine. That's what I would normally go to. I'd like to kind of just talk with you and spitball ideas about how to work together to figure this out so that I can kind of relax and we can bond. Here's the miracle is by actually doing this actually avoidant people, this is how you bond with that person. By making collaborative decisions, by opening up to them about your concerns. And if they can reasonably work with you and go, well, thank you for letting me know. I'm a little sad, but I'm glad that you're telling me, so maybe we can fix it and let's do something about it. Here's some ideas. Why don't we study, vasopressin bonding? Why don't we study that really intensely, guys? That will bring the passion back pretty quickly, by the way. But having these conversations and the other person working with you, your brain actually starts releasing oxytocin and vasopressin. So you start bonding with the other person through this process. So the question is a little deceptive. Do avoidant people have to fix themselves to have a relationship? Well, they need to practice secure behaviors with a partner who can reciprocate with secure behaviors. That's really what an avoidant person needs to do. You don't need to go sit on an island and meditate for 10 years and become secure, because that's not even possible. You only become secure in relation with other humans. Most avoidant people have spent 30 to 40 years ideating in their heads, in their mind palace. I am an intellectual. I will act differently in my relationships. But if you don't actually work with the other person to have a conversation and collaborate, you will never make progress. When you do work with the other person and collaborate and make a little progress, you make a massive amount of progress because your brain is designed to leap at that and love it and crave it. So it's a process of filtering who you can trust and who you can't, connecting with one person you can, and collaborating with them a little bit more openly about these problems. It's doing this. So avoidant people, your responsibility in a relationship is to practice secure attachment behaviors, and then to respond to your partner with more secure attachment responses. And the expectation, anxious people, is that you can respond with secure attachment responses as well. So when an avoidant person comes to you with a problem, you can be calm and regulated and be ready, and not, why is it why don't you love me? I knew it. My parents were right. Instead of doing that and then like hurling yourself over the balcony, and the avoidant person has to catch you and spend 6 months as you sob uncontrollably. I'm joking. I'm hyperbolizing just slightly, but this is how the avoidant person feels. This is their fear. This is one reason they don't open up. But when you can sit there, anxious people, and you can give them that love that you have, and the avoidant person's like, well, I got to tell you something, and I don't think you're going to like it. And they're like hyperventilating, and they can't look at you. They do the one eye thing that avoidant people do when they're having a hard conversation. They kind of do this, and like, I have to tell you something. I'm not finding that I have the same level of attraction in this relationship. If you can stay calm, anxious people, and say, okay, well, that does hurt to hear, but help me understand. What does that mean? Like, do I look like a disgusting bag of garbage to you? Or are you just not feeling the spark? Are you having a hard time with arousal physically? What's going on? Could it be the dopamine thing? Could it be lack of oxytocin? The research shows that by the year 2035, oxytocin spray is probably going to replace Viagra as a fix for erectile dysfunction, for example, because oxytocin drives more male or physical arousal, rising to the occasion after the first 5 to 7 months. After that, it drives more of it even than Viagra can. Viagra is just like a quick blood fix. Oxytocin is actually a deep, intense desire that couples with that physical thing as well. So there's that. Is it that you're not bonding in that? Probably. Well, I don't know. I don't know that I am. And I know I've watched Adam's videos and I love his red beard and blah, blah, blah. Right. And could we try some of these bonding mechanisms? Even by having this talk, and the anxious person goes, well, and you can own it. It's not that you can't have feelings. Yeah, this does make me feel a little insecure, but thank you for telling me honestly. And the avoidant person says, yeah, this does not have to do with you. I really think this is something in me. Well, thank you for letting me know that. The anxious person says, thanks for letting me know. It sucks, but let's figure this out together. We're going to figure this out together. Let's take care of it, right? And then that makes you bond. By having this exchange, you begin bonding. Having that exchange a number of times about all the issues that the avoidant person has, and especially being able to do this, the avoidant person thinks that the anxious person's expectations are here. The anxious person's expectations are here. Normal human expectations are here. So having a conversation, hey, can we just clarify expectations really quick? Can we just go through and you tell me what you want and need, and I'll tell you what I want and need, and we'll just have it all on the table. They're all like right here or here. And the avoidant person would be like, really? I thought it was here. No. Well, that's what I'm trying to hit. Well, no wonder you're exhausted all the time. And the anxious person's like, I thought yours were here. No, they're actually here. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. Now I can hit them. Yeah, they're right here. Clarifying expectations, having those conversations. Acting with secure attachment is fixing the relationship, you guys. You don't need to go sit on an island for 10 years and fix this, okay? This is why I have the attachment repair program in 90 days. You go through the program and you fix all of these problems and have the conversations that have been giving you grief, and you learn how attachment is supposed to work. Now, it's Black Friday right now. If you click the pinned comment at the top in the chat, or if you click the pinned comment after this, I know a lot of you are rewatching the replay. Thank you. You can save thousands of dollars off of my attachment repair programs right now, working 3 times a week with me and bi-weekly with one of my certified coaches, and have a support community 24/7 inside that you can start doing training with. If you want to fix these problems, the attachment repair program will get you there. But if you just need a video course to watch together as a couple, if you need help driving some of these conversations, watch the attachment repair or watch the attachment bootcamp video course, Fixing Attachment, or watch my video course, How to Love an Avoidant Man. Inside there is how anxious women or anxious men can share their needs in measurable ways and get your needs met. It's just as much for anxious partners as it is for avoidant partners. And avoidant partners, men or women, can go through it and say, yes, that's how I can build trust. That's how I can build ongoing desire and arousal, but also that connection that I've been looking for, that sense of peace. That's what the How to Love an Avoidant Man video course was built for. The bundle of both right now are on 60% off. So you'll save $600. Click that link, go pick up your copies and go through them right now as a couple. Then pause after each video and answer 2 questions. What's one thing that stood out to you from this video? And what is one thing that you want to implement into the relationship from this video? And have those talks. Oh, this stood out to me. Really? Why? Well, it really gave me this aha moment. Wow, you didn't know that before. No, I didn't. Okay. Well, what does that change for you? Well, I'd like to do this differently from the video. Okay, well, that's amazing. I want that too. Let's both do it. Great. Okay. And then you have different conversations. Boom, done. That's how you can start doing this. So use the courses. They're 60% off. Use the courses to start doing this process as well. So there's that connection, you guys. I'm going to pause chat. How are we doing over here right now? I'm going to take the green questions first from my members. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. You are so kind. I appreciate you. I appreciate your belief in this message, and I appreciate you always showing up as well. So thank you. Diva, I had a very confrontational conversation with my boyfriend about this yesterday. Uh-oh. He's avoidant. How'd it go, Diva? Let me know. Sarah, how do you decide if the insecure feeling comes from your anxious self or from the problematic behavior of your partner? Sarah, can you talk to the other person about it and say, hey, I'm having this feeling that something isn't good enough, or I'm not good enough, or that this challenge is happening. What are you seeing from your side? Help me understand what you're seeing from your side so I can get realistic feedback. This is called reality testing. Sarah, this is reality testing. You need to have a partner you can trust who will actually not tell you, yes, it is your fault. They actually have to say, well, hey, there's some truth to that here, but here's my expectation. You're hitting it and you're good. Sometimes you go here, but most of the time you're here. If you want to hit this more consistently, I would love that. Here's one thing we can change. And then they'll ask you, what do you kind of need in return? How can I help facilitate you hitting my targets? And you guys take care of each other. This is a reasonable conversation, you guys. And yes, people will do this with you. Reasonable people. Mary Kay, good to see you again. Welcome in here. Long time, Adam, since I caught a live. I'm very glad you're here, Mary. Thank you so much for being here. Sarah, what do you think of a person probably avoidant who would ask for opinions, suggestions, but never follow them? I would ask them, hey, you've asked for a lot of my opinions and suggestions, but also at times it seems like you go in the opposite direction. What are you looking for when you ask me for my opinion? What is it that drives you to do that? Don't walk into it and say, you never take my advice, but you always ask, you're wasting my time. Why even ask? So I wouldn't walk in and do that. They are asking for opinions and suggestions, but not following them. What are they looking for? Sometimes a friend will do this. You have that one female friend who's like, do you think I should date this guy? And you're like, the guy with the bloody chainsaw in his back seat? No. And she's like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But, and then she goes and does it, right? Like, we all know these people. Ask, what is it you're trying to get when you ask me that advice? I want to give you the best advice and be useful to you. And it usually seems like you go the opposite direction. What are you actually looking for so I can be best for you in those conversations? Sarah, it's hard. 100% agree. Some people choose great friends, but choose wrong people for romance. Yes, that can happen. It's heartachingly easy to see that. 100%. Thank you for the compassionate work you do. You're very welcome. Nilosaur? Ah, there we go. I'm gonna call you Nilosaur. That sounds awesome. Thank you. Mariana, how to fix a friendship with an avoidant? I was brutally honest. I told him he didn't know what love is. He always chose wrong people. Well, I would ask questions. This is what most people get wrong, is they think that to get results, to drive a certain outcome, you have to say things and make statements and push certain buttons. And if I input the right code, then the locker will open. And that's not really how humans work. That's a very flawed approach to relationships drawn from attachment issues. Instead is asking questions. Hey, I thought I was giving you an honest reply because I really wanted you to have the truth as I see it. But it seems like I may have been hurtful to you, and I'm not sure. I would like to be a good friend to you. So number one, did that hurt you? Number one. And number two, what can I do to be more useful to you? This is what I believe, but what can I do to be more useful to you in the future? How would you prefer to receive information? And do you want to talk about what would happen and what we talked about? Is there anything there that you'd like to discuss? That right there could be a great approach for repairing some of those relationship pieces. Thank you for bringing up details about how to chat with avoidance. Yeah, 100%. I do that all the time. This is what most of my coaching clients come into me for is like, Adam, I need to tell him this. How do I do that? Then we go through a detailed instruction of how to have that conversation. They go have it and they come back like, it went great. Now I need to talk to him about this. What do I do next? It's like, well, here's how to have that conversation. Here's how to set it up. Here's how to work with them. Okay. And they go do it and they come back. They're like, it went great. And now we're engaged. But now he's doing this and I'm feeling this. What do I say next? Okay, and we go through this next thing and set this next because of that was amazing. And now I know how to have these conversations with him. Okay, now what do we do next? And just we can just roll like that. That's what coaching is, you guys. That's the difference. Most people don't realize the difference between therapy and coaching. Therapy is you come in, you have a diagnosis, they kind of work on you, and hopefully by the end of 10 years, you don't have that diagnosis anymore. And therapy costs anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a year on average for most people. So it's about $5,000 a year if you go every 2 weeks. And for 10 years, it's about $50,000. By the end of that 10 years, hopefully you have resolved your issues. And I'm generalizing quite a lot, but this is the experience of many, many, many people, including thousands of you here on this channel. And many of you guys have talked to me about these frustrations. So coaching is you come in, you have an exact set of problems. We build an exact step-by-step procedure on day one to fix those problems. We go through them. We resolve them 100% and show you how to become independent so you don't need us anymore, me and my certified coaches. And then we send you back out into the world ready to rock. And you have built the relationships then by that time. You have the emotional muscle memory, so to speak, of how to do it again and again and again on your own. And then you're golden and you fly. We have the attachment repair program for 90 days, 3 months. And then we have the attachment repair program 6 months. First 3 months is to fix all of your bad, broken patterns that have kept you stuck, get you to zero, and help you never go back into those negatives again. Then the next 3 months is how to build incredible relationship patterns with all the skill gaps and all the knowledge gaps and all the problems that you don't even know about yet to build an amazing, fulfilling, secure attachment relationship with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your partner, your children, your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, and your puppy dog and your cat and your fish and maybe a bird. And all of that together, that's the attachment repair program. So right now you can save a couple $1,000s off of both of those versions, the 3-month or the 6-month. You can click the attachment, the link at the top, pinned in chat right now, or pinned in a comment after this for people replaying this live later. So thank you. Sarah, can you make another stream about steps to fix anxious attachment? Sarah, that's inside the attachment bootcamp. The attachment bootcamp is the 10 steps to fix anxious attachment for life. That's what that is. It's right now it's 40% off for that course. Go on adamlanesmith.com or click that pinned comment. The attachment bootcamp is designed to fix your anxious attachment for life. It's the process I followed when I was 20 years old to fix my attachment issues. And it's the process that I've refined over the last 15 years of training and experience and everything that I've done. It's all that work rolled into one with all that program that's proven and repeatable with 1,600 clients. So go through the attachment bootcamp. That will show you exactly step by step. 40% off right now. Do not miss it for the Black Friday weekend. 40% off, pinned comment in chat. Guys, do not miss the attachment bootcamp course. Okay, please don't sleep on that. Most people on this channel, I'm so shocked. Most people on this channel have no idea that I have the attachment bootcamp program to fix attachment issues for life. Go through that program. It works primarily for anxious people. It was written primarily for anxious people. It applies probably 90% for avoidant people. The things that will be different is at the very beginning, it walks you through feelings that you have internally, largely will be anxiously aligned. Avoidant people often will resonate with many of them too, but some of the avoidant pieces are better suited in like what an avoidant man needs to feel fulfilled. My videos here, a little bit of small tweak at the beginning. The fix, largely the same. So all of the pieces and components talking about fixing it all fully apply for avoidant people as well. So don't sleep on the avoidant. Don't sleep on the attachment bootcamp. It's 40% off right now. Chat, how we doing so far? How about steps for disorganized? Irene, the steps for disorganized is included inside there. Yes. Back then, I wasn't even focusing on styles. I was focusing on attachment in general. Here's how to fix insecure attachment. It's all programmed inside there. The only difference for disorganized people is that because you're going to sabotage yourself in one direction or the other, you often will need an emotional spotter as you go through the program. That's really it. A friend, a mentor, a priest, a pastor, a coach, myself, one of my certified coaches, a good trusted ally, a mentor, a grandma, somebody that you can go to and check in with mentally. Even if you have a therapist, check in mentally with somebody about it as you go through it so that you don't sabotage yourself. That's really the big change for disorganized people, is you need somebody to rely on. It's like a tree that needs a stick that you're tied to. You're going to need a stick that you're tied to for a little while as disorganized. That's really the biggest change for a disorganized fixing it. Otherwise, it largely is just running it through as if you are anxiously attached. That's really the biggest piece. You manage, let's say it another way. For disorganized people fixing their attachment, you manage the avoidant symptoms while fixing the anxious symptoms. That's really the process. If you can do that, you'll have a spotter who helps you manage the avoidant tendencies of like, somebody loves me. I should splash gasoline everywhere and light it on fire and jump out the window to escape before I can screw up this love. That's the thing, is someone comes in and goes, wait, don't splash that gasoline just yet. You go, oh, maybe I could wait another 3 seconds. And that's kind of like the disorganized process. You just need someone who kind of steps in. That's all. No one has pronounced it as well as you do on the first try. Bravo. You're very, very welcome. You're very welcome. Rosalind back. I hear you. I hear you. Very good. Yeah, I try. I've heard a lot of names in my time. How do you bring up difficult, uncomfortable conversations with an avoidant partner? Mina, great question. I had Alyssa on not that long ago, and I was talking with her about that process. Couple of processes, really quick, okay, really fast. You front load with context, but only 1 or 2 sentences. Hey, really quick, I want to talk with you. This is not a breakup conversation, and we don't have to make a decision. I just want to share some information with you so you're aware, and then you confirm that you're aware, and then we can set a time to talk about this again in the future. Can you intake some info real quick? Cool, thank you. Here's a thought that I'm having. Here's a challenge I'm experiencing. Here's a feeling I'm having, blah, blah, blah. 1 or 2 sentences there. Pause. Just really quick. What are you seeing from your side? Is it different? Or what are you seeing? What are you saying? What are you thinking? What's going on? So I know, okay, blah, blah, blah. They'll talk to you. And then you say, okay, now, and you ask a couple quick clarifying questions. Now you've got updated, realistic information, and they know that they had a chance to talk to you. So they're not, aggressive or mad or defensive yet. They shouldn't be. If they are, that's a massive problem. And then you say, okay, now with that information in mind, here's my thoughts. You share back, blah, 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 blah. Can we reconvene in a day or two to kind of talk through some solutions on what we can do? Or are you comfortable doing that right now? No. Okay, cool. Can we reconvene tomorrow and think about it? Cool. Let's come up with some solutions to fix this tomorrow so everybody feels better. That's how you can have a difficult conversation with a partner who's avoidant, as long as they are ethically avoidant, Mina. They need to be ethically avoidant. Okay. Please, more videos on the other side of the avoidance spectrum. Ivone, you're talking about manipulative avoidant. Check the first 2 years of videos that I did here on this channel. I talked a lot about narcissistic tendencies. I talked a lot about love bombing. I talked a lot about hurtful conduct and behaviors, manipulators. I talked a lot about how love bombing is dangerous for people and how hurtful it is. I talked about why attachment issues break apart relationships, with a heavy emphasis on the avoidant partner really hurting things from their side as well. I talked extensively about that, Ivone. So go back to the first couple years of my material. You're going to see a lot of videos on that. I mostly talk about the ethical avoidant over here on my channel because that's the one you can actually build a relationship with. You can't really build much of a relationship with a manipulative avoidant person unless they overcome their manipulative tendencies and want to actually work with you, which is a whole other process. So there's that. This is great. I love this conversation. Avoidant people out there. So really quick, chat as you guys load up some more questions, and especially members, as you load up more questions, you get chat priority. And anyone who wants to join, make sure you click that join button down there at the bottom. You can support the channel. You can join the inner circle. That gives you chat priority in these lives. Gives you chat priority in comments as well, by the way. Reply to chat for the whole year, or for the whole month, I should say. So make sure you're doing that. As you guys are filling those questions back up, the question I asked here today is, avoidant people, do they have to fix themselves? My initial answer was yes. My secondary answer is they can't. Attachment is not something you fix in a vacuum. Attachment is something you fix in relationships with other human beings. And we all need to work together to resolve our attachment issues and to have secure attachment. If you put me in a room by myself, I don't have secure attachment. If you put me in a room with a human being, I can have secure attachment. I may or may not have a secure relationship based on that person. I might be able to build one, most likely, but to build a secure relationship, they also have to practice secure attachment. The two of us have to be reasonably secure in our behaviors, enough to practice secure behaviors together, even if we have anxious feelings, even if we are nervous, even if we're a bit worried, as long as we lean forward and ask the questions anyway and have the conversations and share the info anyway, we can build secure attached relationship. A secure relationship is mandatory and begins healing your secure attachment internally so that you then operate differently in future relationships and in this relationship in the future also as well. So you have to practice secure attachment with someone who is reasonably accepting. And then through that, you both fix each other and you resolve each other and you heal each other and you encourage each other, you support each other. Even if one of you is great and the other one is still nervous and worried, as long as you have these secure attachment behaviors and patterns together as a friendship or a family or a couple or whoever you are, as you build that, that's how you fix yourselves and each other and everybody involved. Now, everybody has to be willing to do this. If they're screaming at you, firing a gun into the air every time you try to talk about feelings, they release the hounds upon you every time you have an emotion, and you accidentally you get the allergies and you sniffle and they think you're crying, so they send the crocodiles to feast upon your innards. If that's what they're doing, guys, you can't have a relationship. And I get the most devastating emails. Adam, we've been long distance for 27 years. And also, when I get close, he has hired hitmen to try to kill me. And at the same time, he will only see me once a year. And he makes me wear a paper bag over my head and not speak except through a language of wheezing. I have to wheeze appropriately to tell him what I want. And then we only have sex and only from behind and only once for that entire year. And I'm really starting to think that maybe he doesn't want to have children with me. And what can I do to repair this bond? Well, you are a toy in his life. You are not even a hobby. You are something that he occasionally visits for dopamine binges. Please, 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 please start really thinking carefully about why you think this is the limits of a relationship, why you are in love with this person. If you are in love with them, why you are craving their approval so bad, and why you think this is all you can get, or why this is your extent of what a relationship can be. That is not a relationship in any way, shape, or form. And a lot of people email me or DM me with relationship things that are not relationships at all. And they don't realize they're being played. They don't realize they're being used. They don't realize that the other person has absolutely zero interest in them whatsoever. So my question that I come back with is, why are you in this relationship? And this is where a lot of women get frustrated and drop off and say, I just wanted you to help me fix it. Well, most of the time we can fix issues. If he is overwhelmingly, massively resistant, we cannot voodoo him with love spells into deciding to treat you like a human being if he instead wants to treat you like a blow-up doll and has done so for 10 years without consequence and treated all of his former partners like that, right? Very, very, very hard. You cannot love a man into changing. You must apply consequences, and then he has to actually rise to the challenge. If he flakes out and weasels out on you and blames you and runs screaming into the hills and then robs a bank and then blames you for that too, not going to work. Okay. At a certain point, you need to be in a relationship with an adult who wants to be in a relationship also with an adult. There is that level. Okay. A lot of things you can wiggle on, a lot of things you can work on, as long as the other person's willing to learn and just operate a little bit. But you've got to build that together. I realize it's maybe possible to get a DA to open up with their feelings. Yes, not when they say hurtful, offensive things. It's so hard not to react. 100%, Jonathan. 100%. It's if they are actively hurting you and hostile and viciously attacking you, you can try to do a few things to de-escalate. You can try to negotiate and work on things together. You can try to do that and build a little bit of trust. But remember that even hostage negotiators have limits. Even in those circumstances, it is not always a guaranteed kind of thing. Okay. If you are operating like a hostage negotiator without their level of training, and that's just a basic relationship day for you, there is a massive problem happening and we need to resolve it. Does the manipulative avoidant know they're manipulating? They sometimes do, and they wipe it away by saying other people are worse than me and would do worse to me if they got the chance. Therefore, I can rationalize X, Y, and Z. That's what they're doing. And they disconnect your humanity because they view you as a threat instead. They are constantly with new partners, leaving a road of destruction behind them. Some people are. Some people are. Absolutely. The more manipulative people, 100%, quite often. So thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Which part had you like that? Nazi, how would you get them to realize they need help and to start the program? Invitation. Hey, I have been thinking in this relationship, I don't do these things that I want. And I'm also not getting these things. And that's not your fault. I'm not blaming you. I am not advocating the right way. I didn't learn the right skills growing up. I want to learn so much more. And I want to have so much more. And I would love to do that with you. And even if you're skeptical right now, that is totally okay. I want so much more for us. And I'd love to invest into this program, like the attachment repair program or whatever it might be, or the courses right now that are on sale. I want to invest in this and learn more so that we can have more. Do you also want more? Do you want to have better sex more often? Do you want to have easier conflicts where we just blow through them and we don't even fight anymore? Do you want to have great, peaceful evenings together and have a great rest of our life? I would love that so much. This program should be able to get us there. Are you willing to do this with me? Let's do it. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Me, my issues, my challenges, and inviting. Okay? Not blaming, not even talking about the problems. Opportunities. There you go. Hi, Adam. What if an avoidant opens up slowly? You've been going out for over a year, and this is my cutoff time. Well, yeah, that's a lot. Let's do two pressuring for him. What's the best way to get an avoidant to trust? Ash, I have the perfect course for you. It's called How to Love an Avoidant Man. Right now, it's 40% off. It's linked, that pinned comment in chat right now. 40% off How to Love an Avoidant Man. It walks you through the exact steps of trust that avoidant people need to build trust with you. It shows them how you can make your needs measurable to them. It shows you how and when to have that conversation about exclusivity, marriage, children. It walks you through how to do that in a way that is not triggering for them, that actually builds their trust as you have the conversation. And if you love the material in there, you can actually go through it again with them. There's exercises in there on conversations to have, information to write down, clarifications to do between the two of you. There's all these exercises and steps to do inside that course. So Ash, I would very much recommend How to Love an Avoidant Man. It's linked right now in that pinned comment, 40% off right now for Black Friday. If you want to pick it up with the attachment boot camp to fix anxious attachment or disorganized attachment or fearful avoidant attachment is what the other name for disorganized is. That's in there as well. There's a 60% savings on the bundle. So there you go. There you go. Can attachment styles be contextual, such as anxious and romantic, but avoidant friendship? Serious Cat, I get that question a lot. And more than them being contextual, they usually change based on level of intimacy and perceived pressure. That's usually what changes them. So yes, that's contextual. And plenty of people are pretty good in friendship, but usually in friendship, you're not having sex, getting married, and having babies because that's what we call bromance. So yes, the deeper the intimacy goes, the more likely it is that your attachment issues are going to rise up and cause a challenge. No matter what your attachment style is, it's more likely to pop out when you are more close and intimate like that. Now, that's sort of the part that hit me was the simple question of why are you even in this relationship? I see our early days, my follies, the role of dopamine so clearly thanks to there we go. Love bombing with the oxytocin at the very beginning as well. Love bombing saturates and gets someone addicted, then they chase and chase and chase and chase. Very, very common. A person with anxious attachment is programmed to need that validation and for it to feel safe. So when they pull away from you and pull the attachment back and pull the oxytocin back, you feel unsafe. And as a child, remember, you were programmed to chase your parents and get that feeling back. Now you believe you have to chase the person who pulled away. You can't just go find a new source because you can't go find new parents typically. They don't sell them at Walmart. I've checked. So instead, you have to go through this process of repairing it with the one person who walked away, which in this case might be a manipulative abuser. So the person feels stuck and like they can never move on. That's ultimately the cycle you need to break. So breaking that oxytocin addiction and learning that you can diversify that portfolio to friends, family, and then also a partner. That's a massive, massive change. What's your opinion on CPTSD as an attachment disorder? A good question. I was a licensed marriage and family therapist for many years. I had two specialties. One was attachment theory. The other was severe extreme traumas. I handled extreme, complicated, chronic, ongoing childhood and adulthood and teenage year ongoing PTSD. I could spot it before anybody else could. It was my overwhelming specialty. I know we've developed this whole CPTSD. I've heard it a million times. Remember that attachment issues are themselves a trauma response to human relationships. From toddlerhood, infancy, early childhood, it is a trauma response. It makes you more primed to receive trauma, to respond to trauma with more additional traumatic experiences. So it stacks and it creates that overwhelming, what we call compound trauma through the course of a person's life. Attachment issues lower your threshold for getting additional PTSD later, but attachment issues are themselves a trauma response. Keep that in mind. You resolve them in many of the same ways. Systematic desensitization is really big, but just having experiential changes inside relationships, that changes your brain chemistry and often does resolve a lot of those trauma components as well. So there's that. Great question on that. Guys, this has been an amazing conversation. Oh, that turkey is coming right back up. Apologies. Insecurely attached with my turkey right now. All of these issues can be resolved. I just want to make that abundantly clear. None of these are things you are saddled with for life. If anyone has ever told you your attachment style is like your astrology sign, they are flat out wrong. If anyone has told you your attachment style is fixed for life, they are absolutely wrong. If anyone has told you that trauma can't be resolved, they are 100% wrong. Okay. All of these things can be resolved. It just depends how fast you want to go, who you have around you, and who's going to help you. Help is going to make this so much faster. That's why I've built and launched the attachment repair program. It's also why I offer the video courses. If you're ready to get started with a video course and dip your toes in, fantastic. 60% off the bundle of courses right now on my website, adamlanesmith.com, linked in that pinned comment, linked in a comment after this replay. Or the attachment repair program, if you're ready to dive right in and fix it with guided, facilitated help with myself and my coaches, my certified attachment coaches, 3 times a week with me, plus once bi-weekly with the coaches, plus a 24/7 support community. All of us working together for 90 days or 6 months, whichever length of time you want. We'll talk through that. If you want to do this, guys, just step in and let's set up a free discovery call and talk to you about the problems and challenges and the ways these can help. You don't even have to put in a credit card. Just step in. We will schedule a session. We'll schedule a discovery call with one of my support specialists who will walk you through exactly what you need and don't need. And they'll talk to you about that, whether it's a course or a book or the attachment repair program. And we'll walk you through it. Individuals, couples, anybody can go through this. It is a repeatable, proven system anyone can use to go from insecure, afraid of abandonment, afraid of rejection, and afraid of intimacy to fulfilled, connected, bonded, relaxed, and peaceful for the rest of your life inside loving relationships. So click that link. Make sure you do not miss the Black Friday specials. You know I am here to help. I am going to be coming back tonight to live stream again. I believe it's 7 p.m., somewhere around 7 p.m., somewhere around there. I will be back, I promise. Tonight, I will come back. We will live stream again. I'm going to be live streaming vertically on my phone instead. Instead of sitting here at this beautiful background, I'll be standing up and talking and drinking more coffee, probably. The difficulty of parenting and holiday weekend. So thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate you greatly. Leave your comments. I read them. Send me an email at support@adamlanesmith.com, and do not miss these Black Friday specials. They're going on right now. The prices will never be this low again. Please check it out. Get your copies of the course. Join the program. I'm ready to work with you. Take care of you guys. I will take care of yourselves. I will see you again tonight. What time is it? 3:00. I should see you again tonight at about 6:00 or 6:30 U.S. Central Time. Let's just say that 6 or 6:30. Set your reminders. Come back. You'll get the chime as you hit the bell for this channel. I'll be here, and we're going to help together. So take care of yourselves until then, and I will see you again real soon.